let's see, we've got to get our weak position up to date. So we've moved on from open guard to half guard. Everybody's favorite time to get smashed by Coach Luke. And yeah, all right. So we've got our Monday footage ready for review as usual. So let's get into it. It's got me and Pat front and center. Looks like we got Jason and Tony over there under the chat. Got Pablo and Austin.
It's been a minute since I've seen Austin.
Yeah, he's been a busy boy. I insisted on getting around with him that night. I wasn't allowed to leave until I did. What's going on, Jordan?
What's up, James? What's up, Jordan?
So, had to switch up my typical tactics with Pat here. He was actually really doing well, getting me off balance with foot sweeps. So from here, I get to an angle, but then I switch from that trip behind because he just completely was winning the head height battle, making it really difficult. But I switch into an Uchimata, and then I use my collar tie around his head to lower his level. And then this is something Bertram likes to talk about. You know, those throws like Uchimatos, Haragoshis, they don't work right away all the time, right? They're not as smooth as some of the highlights you see. So you get into what's called like a ken-ken position, where you're kind of jumping. You got one foot in the air, raising their hips, but they're still balanced. You have to jump, and follow through with it until you can get them down. Kind of like we tell you guys to always trust the choke when you have it. With a throw like an Uchimata, it's good to trust it too before you like bail on it or switch to anything else too quickly. Let's see what Pablo did here to get behind Austin. Looks like Austin's just being a little lax, giving Pablo a chance to work. Good single leg, and he runs the pipe. And we got Jason and Tony locking horns as well. You drinking a Guinness, Mike?
Guinness? No.
Inquiring minds want to know.
It's wine. I'm way. I save Guinness for St. Patrick's Day. It's about the only time I drink it.
You got Matt working a single on you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the varietal, Mike? What are you drinking?
It's a Rioja. This is Spanish wine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy boy.
Whatever's on sale at Costco, man.
Yeah. The biggest box they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pat was talking a lot of smack right now.
I talked so much shit during that argument Marvel too. Yeah.
So I ended up getting my knee free and slipped out of his guard. Probably the easiest I've ever gotten out of it, which is why he was talking smack. He's like, well, that never happens. Nobody ever passes my guard that easily. Something like that. But what's going on here is, you know, I settled into like a half guard sort of position. My knee is through, so I'm not in like a true half guard. But you can see I capture the elbow. He's using it as a shoulder frame, and I managed to get the best of it, drive forward, get the elbow above the shoulder line, and that helps me flatten him out and control his shoulders and head. I shift my head over into like a katagatame position, although I don't have an actual like head and arm locked up right now, but I have enough control with my left arm and my head over his arm and head that I can use my right arm to start working to get my leg free. Didn't need too much help, and now it's just a matter of really kind of anchoring my foot and leg in, not letting him get back to it with the his leg fishing over from my ankle.
Yeah, he normally likes to use that near side arm to block the leg as it's coming up, to keep you back in that quarter guard and force you back into half guard. So by you getting that head and arm, it completely shut down his ability to do that.
What'd you get on Matt?
Like a
Kimura.
a simple little Kimura. He was tapping very early.
Sure.
I was planning on sweeping and getting back into the top position, but he just wound up tapping and we reset. Who's Jason training with again?
That's Tony. He's
Tony.
One of our recent signups.
Okay.
In fact, how do you get behind him there?
Arm drag.
Just good
He
arm
really-
drag, yeah.
Jason does. He has a very strong arm drag.
Yeah, he can get you moving.
Yeah.
Austin, meanwhile, has made his way to Pablo's back. I think with just some good passing here. So, okay, Pablo kind of makes a mistake here. So, or maybe Austin kind of forces it. You can see Austin move to a leg drag where he pulls Pablo's leg over and really kind of like started to stack him behind him, but now he gets up to the hips, walks up the body. And Pablo just doesn't have the angle to try to roll him out of that. And Austin steadily takes the back. That was nice. We went over that. We went over leg drags loosely, as a passing tactic, I think last week.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo turning through that body triangle though. And to Pat's credit here, he kept talking smack. It's like, how does it feel to not be able to submit a blue belt?
Yeah.
And he's right. I did not submit him. There's still 3 minutes left on the clock too. That's a testament to the killers we have in our school. All the blue belts who just know exactly what I'm gonna do and shut it down all the time.
It makes it fun.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I hate it. So Matt's really relying on those grapevines to control here. And you can see, so Matt's, fairly fresh at this. Any of our students who've been at it for a little while, I hope you guys can tell exactly what Mike's doing here. This is what this is the kipping escape, which we like to use when our opponent is in mount and they're laying on some heavy chest pressure against the face. So the grapevines don't really matter. Get Matt off balance with a little bridge to the side. I think he knew what was up there.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a fun little entry.
You against Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look at that again.
Yeah.
Happy little
So
entry.
Yeah. So I wind up capturing his right arm. So he's coming up, he's framing on my hip, he's trying to pass my guard here, and I wind up taking a 2-on-1 on his right arm and holding it very tight to my chest. Both my knees are pointed towards the left of the camera here, and I'm just using the top hook to elevate, and I'm slipping my right leg behind his far leg here, and coming up into a cross ashi position. So here I can start coming in for inside heel hooks, you know, whatever you really want to. I choose to let it go and play out because I don't even want to go for a grip on Matt here just because I don't want to risk him rolling the wrong way. So
Yeah.
catch, release, and then move on to the next thing.
I really like that entry. That it's a Yoko Sumigashi or a wing sweep, and then rather than using it as a sweep, where you just send them, switching into that cross is really cool. Now Pat's smashing me. Or trying to, at least. Gavin's also trying to break Caleb's legs. Where he was, now he's just passing. What ended up with Matt there? Oh, just a strangle. Okay.
Yeah, and again, tapping very early, not getting anything super deep.
I had a
Me
really
and Braden and Gavin go at it on these couple of rounds here back to back.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Tony was kind of blocking it. I think I went over this last week, I want to say. Did I cover Monday? I think I covered last Monday.
Yeah.
So I went over the Sesai or
Yep.
Sesei Surikomiyashi. We're only gonna be able to see a little bit of it, but you could see the initial setup against Andrew here. So what I have is a shallow underhook where I'm reaching not all the way across to the opposite side shoulder, but just hooking in and grabbing the shoulder nearest to me. And then what I probably, oh no, I got it here. It's hard to see though. I'm using my left hand to push on his right shoulder. So I'm starting to turn him, you know, pushing him like towards the camera. His back comes towards the camera. And then what you can't see is I'm blocking his left leg so that as he's twisting up top, he can't step and I can get the takedown that way. So that's the Sesai Surikomiyashi. Braden said he wants to go harder, Mike. Hey.
I can go harder.
Yeah. Careful what you ask for. I think I ended up getting an armbar out of this because Andrew swept me, and then I don't have a triangle there, so it must have been an armbar. I think it was like a lat armbar or something. Tony and Danny, how did they get to the ground? So it's like, does Tony take a shot here on the single? Okay. Goes to pick up the single, but doesn't quite get to a good angle to stay in front. Or to get to the side. He ends up staying in front, and then Danny's able to lock up that front headlock. But I would say Tony gets the takedown points here anyway. Danny's about to get a sweep.
Or the submission, yeah. There we go.
And for those of you that were there yesterday, you see what Danny's working. We went over this from half guard. First, he's working the shoulder crunch, but then right here, he switches to part of what we did yesterday. He gets the deep underhook. It's a little high. I'd like to see it down by the waist, but Danny's probably going high. I would say because he knows that you can't darce him from up there. I don't know if Tony's like too familiar with the darce. Darcing people with that high underhook is very difficult. Darcing them when they're like in this no man's land right here is a lot easier. Ask me how I know. But then Danny heists up. Let's see. It's hard to see what his right leg is doing, but I'm okay. Not quite exactly the details I was going over yesterday. I was talking about having Danny get his knee down in between Tony's legs to capture his leg. But then the ending is a real important part. With Danny having the underhook, just a little shoulder shrug forward, where Danny's controlling the wrist there, and that allows him to get onto the back and start going to work. Really just, a testament to the necessity and the power of the underhook from half guard. Oh, we got Chris and Rush too. I haven't seen them roll.
Oh yeah.
And Josh and Cole.
Josh and Cole, that was a fun roll. I watched this earlier today.
Yeah, I heard there were some fireworks here.
Oh yeah, we missed it.
We missed it. Let's see. Sorry, I just want to see how this all transpired. So Cole with a very Greco sort of grip here.
It was a good Uchimata attempt from
Josh, yeah.
Josh, though.
Cole makes his way to the back, slams him into the pillar. Yeah, okay, and then as Josh turns into him, he gets the standing head and arm. You don't see that very frequently.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so embarrassing, Josh. Can't skip over Cole. Yeah, sorry, I totally missed it. Thank you, Jordan. At least someone appreciates it. You guys can stop texting me now on the sides. I saw it, all right? We pointed it out. I missed it, okay? Relax. Anyway. It's a jumble of stuff, man. That's what I need you guys for. Just point out to me when I need to go over something.
A new dojo. A new senpai.
Yeah, very shameful.
You just pulled the rug out from underneath Andrew on that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, this is the De La Hiva sweep that I really like. The necessity here is the wrist control. And it has to be cross-side wrist control. And you'll see why in a second. But I have a De La Hiva hook in with my leg, which, for those uninitiated, it just means my Andrew has one leg up the middle. My leg that is outside of his leg is wrapped around with my toes kind of like hooking into the inner thigh. I take my cross wrist grip, and then I use my free hand to plant on the mat, come up to my elbow, and I use my De La Hiva hook to drop behind Andrew's ankle, and I pull out his leg from underneath him. So you can see the switch right there. I base with my foot, pull that leg out, and then I can take top position. Let's get it one more time, a little slower. So I plant, come up, take him down. First done on me by our old buddy Jason. Remember Blue Belt Jason? It was like my size.
Yeah.
He just like ripped my leg out from underneath me. It was awesome.
Yeah, he was very good at De La Hiva, especially in the gi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the few techniques in De La Hiva in no gi that I just feel translates super well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you don't address that wrist control. Like, you might be able to get it without the wrist control. I just find it's undeniable because they can't base on that arm when you have it. So if you do it fast enough, or if they're way off balance, you can get away with it. But it just makes it a sure thing.
Rush is having a really tough time with Chris's guard here.
Yes, he is.
I mean, understandably so. I think we talked about it enough. Chris's guard, his legs bend in a very unusual way, and can always stay pinned to his chest, it seems like.
Yeah, he's pretty Gumby.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Josh has no problem passing Cole's guard right up in the mouth. Maybe you guys can find another dojo together.
Tell them you already have the matching rash guards.
Yeah. Like the old Road Warriors wrestling team. The tag team. I think they were brothers or something.
Yep. Yeah, so Rush just now got around Chris's guard. And he did that with kind of like, even though he had gotten to this point quite a lot with his knee to the, to the hip line of Chris, he wound up stapling Chris's leg down from like the opposite angle. See how he kind of prevents that for a little tiny bit. He puts his knee inside of the crease of Chris's knee and then starts to step around again.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like he's threatening a toe hold. I don't think he is. And then just putting a ton of pressure on the ankle of Chris so that his leg starts to drift away from his body.
Yeah.
And then just jump straight on top.
And this is where Rush is really, really effective.
Yeah.
Looking here. So I'll get Danny and Tony real quick here. Give yourself some credit, Josh. Yeah, break his ankle. Yeah, Chris is also, I mean, we give him a lot of credit for his guard, but he's also very good at re-guarding, so it's interesting to see him having some trouble with Rush, who I have trouble re-guarding on, especially in the gi. If Rush passes my guard in the gi, it's a long round for me. Jason with the quickness. There we see Jason using that knee pick again.
Yep. Collar tie, keeping that posture broken down, and then other hand going to the knee for the pick.
Yeah, and he's doing it opposite side that he normally does, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, man, he's doing it opposite side of me. That's why I was like, is it a knee pick? But it is.
He gets a good launch on me later on in this one. God. My shoulder still feels it.
Nice. So we got Braden going after me, Gavin going after
me.
Oh, you and Braden look alike with your haircut now.
Yeah.
And your no beard. I don't know who should be more insulted by that, Braden for looking like an old man or you for looking like a little kid.
I'll take looking younger. For sure.
So Braden going for a heel hook on me here. Gavin had a nice double underpass.
He did.
Let's look at the pass real quick. Super stoked to see him using this. That was nice. Gavin, one way to tighten this up a little bit. I want to see you, when you get to here, you could step up to your feet here fairly easily. You just need to like get into a squatted stance and pull your opponent's hips up. So stack your opponent on their shoulders and then drive forward with your hips and slide them by. It's not that what you did here was wrong. You can just make it a little bit more miserable and make them want to give you the pass. So someone a little bit more tenacious in their role may try to shut you down, and that's a good way to minimize it. They can't shoulder walk away very well. They can't hang their weight on your shoulders with their legs if you get them up on their shoulders. So Braden coming through with the reap, or a reaping action. I don't let him get all the way to a full reap, but that gets his heel exposure. I start to roll with it, and he commits to just staying on the outside here. I want to see Gavin or Braden. I want to see you extend your legs behind me. Don't let him get in front of me here, and really like pull your heels back into my back and into towards my butt. And then we could talk about this in person a little bit more, but I want to improve your hand position on the heel hook. But otherwise, you're putting on some good torque there. You could just make it even worse for me. Let's see. Ooh, Cole doing some nastiness on Rush here. Actually, I kind of want to see how this got. Sorry, we're just going to go right back to the beginning real quick. Okay, they start down. That makes sense. Rush playing a really loose half guard here. Cole setting up kind of to like an over-under pass. Sliding by on the leg. And almost with the shoulder push. That sucks for Rush. That was a good opportunity here. I think his leg is like tangled up here. He's kind of What were you saying?
He's bound up somehow. I can't tell how though.
Yeah, he's fighting himself here. That's his right leg. So with that shoulder push, I mean, like, he's in good position. I feel like he should be able to shove Cole way off balance here, and get up. He just kind of, I feel like he bails on it too early. Like, even with Cole here, I would still keep that hand in the armpit and try to sit up and push him forward. But now that he's gone into turtle and Cole's like basically in a pretty steady 4-point base position, yeah, smooth move by Cole to get behind and set in a quick choke, prioritizes the hook, and gets like a one-armed mandible strangle. That was nice.
Yeah, it was solid.
In fact, another good little detail, Cole gets this underhook wrist grip on the primary defensive arm, right? The arm, your opponent's arm that is opposite your strangle arm is like their primary defensive one. That's the hardest one to fight. So Cole immediately takes that defense away. So now, look how deep Cole's knuckles are around the back. This arm isn't really going to be able to do much to defend, and it looks. I was wondering why Rush wasn't doing more with that arm. That was kind of, I feel like that was kind of his last ditch defense there, but
he couldn't turn to do anything with it because Cole had the other arm trapped.
Yeah.
I think the defense for Rush would have been to turn to the right and face Cole into the choke here. And Cole wasn't letting him do that because he had that control arm.
Yeah, and he's got diagonal control, right? From
exactly.
With the
right.
one hook in. Yeah, very nice. Good job, Cole. Sotogari from Braden. Gavin on an armbar. And Rush with a shoulder crunch sweep. Nice. Really gets... Yeah, he had to really commit to that to get Cole's hips up.
We got Jason and Chris in the back too. Andrew and Austin and Josh and Pat. Is that Pat?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nice mount by Pat. Kind of did the cowboy step over, but he made sure that Josh's legs were pointed in the right direction. And good on Josh for getting Pat back down below the knee line so that he didn't really concede that mount.
Yeah. Unfamiliar wall. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Jason putting the double underhook pass to use as well. I think everybody's starting to get a good idea on how to handle Chris. It's right up by the lion. So same thing for Jason here too. What I said to Gavin, like Chris is flat on his back, and he's not in trouble yet. What he could do is really pull his heels down into Jason's arms and hang his weight off of Jason. Jason's a strong dude, so it may not be enough, but Jason can prevent that threat by getting Chris up on his shoulders. Cole's taking it to Rush tonight.
Yeah. Long hook with the right hook here, with the right leg, stomping down on the mat, blocking the hip, which is really a good use of that leg, and then winds up getting a strangle before they even get down to the mat.
Did I just like throw Braden across the mat here? Yeah, with the ankle pick.
Yes, you did.
Rush goes belly
had
down.
Ezekiel. What's up?
Said Rush goes belly down too.
Yeah,
Ezekiel here.
but in order to get to the sweep, here, he lays in a no-gi Ezekiel. So he goes over the head with his right arm and then under with his left arm. And he's actually, you see his fingers poking through the left shoulder. Yep, right there. He puts on some pressure and Rush has to respond. So he kind of keels over.
That was
and
nice.
Then, yeah, that was a good reversal.
Yeah, man. Really, really solid. Cole, I don't think I've seen you work on the back too much, like this much in a round. I mean, obviously you've focused a lot of the last year on like the mount game, but yeah, good to see you throwing in some real dangerous stuff on the back.
James, how are you feeling? Just getting back and everything. I mean, you were training on Saturday. I imagine you're pretty tired.
So Braden was doing here what you were doing to me later, like really putting in a lot of forearm pressure over the face as I was trying to like tuck my head out and shrug my shoulders and get everything up, and just like hanging on, putting a miserable squeeze on. So Cole's doing a really good job with directing Rush's legs through this transition. Let's see. So he's smashing Rush's left butterfly, which Rush then switches out into a half guard. But let's see. It's hard to say if Rush is turning himself that way. I'm gonna give credit here to Cole with a really heavy shoulder pressure. Kind of forcing Rush in that direction, and then Cole using this as an opportunity to sneak the leg free, or at least attempting to. Rush is making him work for it.
Good, yeah. That's a long jet lag to get over. So glad you're finally over it. We'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, I will miss you this weekend again. Hopefully, I think next weekend I'll be back to more regular training. But I'll be there to beat your ass here pretty soon, James. Looking forward to having you smash me and ruin my dreams of beating your ass. So I feel like the last time I rolled with James, it was just like kind of like with with a lot of our blue belts, like don't let them get on top.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just stuck there. Cole looking to spin the leg on Caleb. Caleb with the quick footlock reversal. All right, so I think we gave Baker some shit about this a few weeks ago too. When you guys go to spin the leg on an opponent, what I'm seeing happen a lot is the leading leg, the one that, so in this case Cole's left leg, gets left behind. It really needs, like most of you I feel like are turning with the upper body first, really focusing on the grip that your arms are going to make. What you need to focus on, the good old classic jiu-jitsu saying, position before submission. You have to lead with your leg. You have to lead your way around with that knee. Get your foot free, because you don't want to be sitting on your foot for this. You want to turn around into cross ashi, and then you can worry about, exposing the heel, setting up your grip and all that. Or if you want to stall at the reverse ashi position and go for the knee bar, great. That's fine too. Your leg needs to be free. You have to lead with your knee and get that free before you can start attacking. Now, with it being left behind, this is where Cole finds himself in some trouble. Saw Baker doing that a lot in one of the rounds, like last week or the week before that. So just something to work on, something to keep in mind. It's a fantastic transition, especially in half guard. If you don't feel like playing an upper body game, it's a really great way to enter into a very dangerous position for your opponent. Got to do it right though. Yeah, you going for the kind of a weak side pass with the knee stable, or trying to knee stable, but Pat's kickstanding out.
He really, I don't know. I've been trying a lot of new things with guard passing. A lot of this, new positions for the same types of passes.
Yeah.
And trying it out on Pat is frustrating, I would say.
He's a good one to work it with.
Yeah. But yeah, I figured getting stuck in his lockdown was going to do me some good here, so that I can get some more practice on how to figure out how to play with it. But you notice that, yeah, like you said, I'm going for this weak side, but I'm also kind of playing a very loose style of passing. I'm not really throwing in a ton of pressure, even in the half guard. I'm just kind of trying to pummel the legs and use my legs to lead.
Austin was making heel exposure very difficult there for like a minute straight. I had him in cross ashi, and I think I forget that I can like you'll see right here, I transition to a heel hook grip, or I go for it. I get it, but he just points his foot, and I forget that like that's an opportunity to go into a straight ankle, or just like set up the grip, even on the primary leg in cross ashi. You can still, I feel like the straight ankle you normally do to the secondary leg from cross ashi.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can still attack that. I'm gonna have to play with that.
I was able to get around the guard here and get straight into a mount, and then I'm trying to go in for the submission, because he kind of, in the way that I passed his guard, instead of me playing down a lot of chest pressure, I was playing a lot with his hands, and I was able to pin his hands across his body. And what that led me to was basically a head and arm. And so I start in with the head and arm, and I'm putting in a decent amount of pressure here, and he's still talking shit all the way through it. So I obviously knew that it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
But then I'm transitioning into a gift wrap position, and then I'm gonna go. I've had problems taking his back in the recent past, like even Saturday and Sunday. I think I had his back, and he escapes my back fairly easily. So I decided to hike up my right leg over top of the shoulder and go straight in to threaten either the armbar or the triangle. And this is where I'm starting to have success. So now I've got a lot of pressure on the elbow. I wind up going in, and that was a very deep rear triangle.
Yeah, and it looks like his arm is what's primarily in danger here.
Yeah. I didn't even have time to switch into like a full-on grip. Like it was a lot of pressure all the way, or like right off the start.
Yeah. I want to go back to. I want to look at Rush and Jason here. We went over this that night. Luke was briefly showing deep half. So let's see. Rush just about gets there. One thing I find really helpful with this position, especially against larger opponents or opponents bigger than me at least, as you go to make this switch, you really have to focus on shifting your hips beneath your opponent. Like it's not enough for you to just like pinch your knees together and turn. You have to scoot your hips underneath theirs, and Rush is just about there. Jason may have a good base that we can't see right now with his right arm, but Rush also gives up his grip here. You could see he opens the grip. I think he maybe prematurely goes for this push a little early. I don't know what his intentions were from there. If he wanted to like throw his leg over, bring his right leg back over, get into a leg entanglement or what. I feel like he could have done something more with this. Just had to like trust his grip and his hip position a bit more.
I think to kind of further the thought here is that if you're gonna switch to the near side shoulder post or the armpit post or whatever it is we want to call this, right? Like that armpit push to go away. Your emphasis. So think about it this way: if you've got the grip locked up underneath the leg, and you're gonna continue, you've got a lot of strength with two arms coming across. When you are pushing on the shoulder in order to extend them away from you, and you have a very shallow underhook or a scoop grip with that right hand, it becomes almost superfluous. Like it's just kind of there, right? Like there's really no power with that scoop grip. Scoop grips are meant to pull, not to push or extend. So if you're going to use that post with the left hand, then your priority needs to be getting your right shoulder all the way through in order to, use a very deep scoop grip with that right arm to extend your person away from you.
Yeah, you'd almost have like their calf up on your shoulder at that point, or their ankle
exactly.
on your shoulder.
You're literally trying to work them all the way up the body. Like I'm doing that motion because I'm actively trying to get up and shove my shoulder all the way through.
Yeah. I just want to see where Caleb took Mount here and how. Going back a little ways. Nothing too fancy. Cole, here for you, man. I would switch into an X guard where your legs are actually, both of your legs are inside Caleb's knee, and you could push his right leg away and really widen his base, and he'll fall over for sure from that.
Or you can
or
reach
step
with
on
your-
his taint. Go ahead.
If you reach with your right leg, turning to your, so can you go back to that? So, yeah, right before you go down here, right here, Cole, if you were to keep that same grip and just turn to your left, and continue, what that would do is it would break Caleb's knee down, his left knee down to the mat, and you'd be able to follow him down, and you would wind up straight into an outside heel hook.
So Caleb does a good job here with it's like a little reverse C grip. Gets those legs disengaged. Brings the pressure.
I have a hard time with X guard with Caleb. He does a very good job of getting rid of that guard, of just stripping grips.
He and I were talking about that yesterday, actually. Like the that little C grip you take on the elbow or on the ankle.
Yeah.
He finds really, really helpful.
So Rush has the shoulder crunch going on Jason. Yeah, Jason wound up slipping out of it. I'm not really surprised. He was really slippery that night.
Yeah. Greasing. Sorry, one I meant to check. I think, oh yeah, I did. I got finally got a head and arm on Austin. And I want to shot it from the rooftops. So let's wait for him to tap. Just because. There we go. There we go. Plenty of you have probably already gotten that on him too, but his skinny little neck is difficult for me to strangle. Good sweep from him though.
Ends up in a 50-50. Now you're an outside. Well, kinda.
Yeah, he's not letting me fully get a good entanglement on him.
Let's go. You're shoving your shoulders through to get, like, driving through that triangle threat.
Yeah. And then to a double knee bar threat just because it was about to end. So I forced Cooper here to deal with a standing guillotine and to do the defense right. So you see, I set one on and he goes to sit down. It's not what you want to do here. So I stand him back up. I tell him reach really far up and over and then pull me down to the side. There we go. Somebody did that to me. Was it Kurt or I don't know. Somebody did that to me the other day. Got me in a standing guillotine and I had to do the good old fashioned reach all the way up and over and try to take him down.
Yeah, we watched on the stream.
Yeah, I can't remember who did it now.
I can't either.
Andrew looking for a leg here.
Yeah, he was diving on the legs.
I think ever since he got some success against Danny with that knee bar, he's feeling himself.
Okay. Yep.
He just made the mistake of going into a straight ankle lock battle with you, which that's a tough one.
Yeah, my ankles have seen so much damage. There's not much you're gonna do to them. The old reach around.
And you see Coop here jumping in like he's like screw passing. Watch this. Like I'm gonna put you on your back and then just try to jump right into Masashi.
Yep.
So he doesn't quite have the leg position that he needs here though. So Cross Ashi is something he's got to work on. I'm hesitant to do it with him just because you know, when he got DQ during one of his rounds at the last competition.
That was dumb.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid. Like, he wasn't attacking the kid's leg at all, but I think he just a lapse in judgment as far as grips go, and the ref, you know, whatever. The ref's got to keep the kid safe, so I get it. But you know, I want to make sure that the kids, if they want to play with leg locks, they do it in class and not necessarily in a threatening way at a competition where it's totally illegal. But either way, he ends up ending that exchange with a really nice rear naked strangle here.
So I hit a cross Ashi entrance on Andrew that was similar but not the same to what I did to Matt earlier in the rounds. So he's trying to pass, putting me on my weak side, and he lets my right leg stay in between, right? So it kind of looks at face value like I'm in trouble, but my left foot is in between his legs. And so I wind up using a cross shoulder post and then scooping his leg up in order to, all right, I talk about this a lot in class. You know, you guys are probably sick and tired of me telling you this, but the power leg in cross Ashi is that support leg, the one that goes behind the knee. It's not the one that clamps down onto the thigh, right? That's the thing that holds you in control of the position. If you let that bottom leg flare out for whatever reason, or you know, whatnot, it becomes much easier for the person to turn and get out of the position. So I was able to take him over here without even using a scoop on the leg, just because I was very diligent with my knee placement. So now I'm fighting for double trouble to try and get that. He's doing a fantastic job of bugging my head, disrupting my grips,
I just
to
want
where
to
I'm not able to get it.
I just want to throw in before we go too far forward. When you're dealing with somebody who has like a butterfly hook, you get them on their side. Maybe you think you have like a leg drag position. That's fine. What can't happen is your leg. Let's watch Andrew's left leg here, slipping through. Like, you can't step your foot in front of your opponent if they have that hook in. It's just you're just giving them the gift of cross Ashi. So something to feel out, like that. That's going to be, you know, that's one of those mistakes you'll make a few times early on, and then you'll feel where the danger lies, and you won't do it much after that. Oh, this is where Caleb wrist locks, or attempts to wrist lock Chris to break the grips.
I couldn't tell if he was actually mad about it or whether he was just
he was laughing about it, I think, but he was like, man, everyone at the school wrist locks. Yeah, which, I mean, look, I'm not upset about this. This was like Caleb is manipulating the hands here to put braking pressure on. I mean, you know, wrist locks can be annoying, but perfectly viable technique to break a grip open. There are a million ways to do it, but it's if it gets their hands apart, why not, right?
Yeah.
Chris manages to stay safe on the armbar. Awesome. He does have really good armbar defense. The few times I've gotten him there. Like, he stays very tight with it. He doesn't use turning escapes like hitchhikers and stuff. he just manages to get his elbow down to the mat primarily. See, we got Brandon and Rush making it to the front and center. I like what Brandon was doing. I like his head's in the right place. Trying to step over Rush's hook here. Rush just gets a little lat grip on him and manages to expose Brandon's back to the mat. But he had the right idea. Just a little too turned over. Andrew's still trying to break your knees, man.
He is. Yeah, I use a foot post on basically his hamstring to stay safe.
Oof.
It would, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna play that Achilles game, Andrew, you can't let your legs down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are monsters.
Let's look at Chris.
Dude, that was a big fall. Nice. What was that, a tripod? That was like a very unorthodox tripod sweep.
Yeah, so what makes it look weird is he's using his right arm.
Right hand. And sitting like his butt is on the heel or on the foot.
Yeah, that is different. I don't think I've ever seen that. Caleb fell hard.
It's like, fuck your wrist line.
Yeah. Sorry, Josh. I think it was just a Uchimata. Nothing fancy. Whatever, dude. I look good for my age. All right. So let's see Tony and Chris. Just a little wrestle up against Josh there. A lot of outside circling. So shooting in on a single and then driving through, transitioning to a double. Chris working his close guard. I don't expect Tony to know how to get out of that just yet. So Chris opens up. I feel like Tony thinks he's getting close to passing, but Chris is making it really difficult with pulling that left knee up.
If he gets that underhook, he's got it back. Okay. He's got back exposure.
A little double under attempt here on a... Yeah, so this, I guess since we talked about it earlier, I could probably even do better with this one, but notice, guys, that I'm taking... Against Josh here, I'm taking my time. I got my hooks. I got his legs up on my shoulders. I stood to my feet, and you'll see me pull Josh up to try to get him on his shoulders before I cut my angle around. I could have stacked him even better there. That looked like it was done a bit hastily. But I hope that's a bit more illustrative of what I'm trying to say as far as stacking them on their shoulders. Thanks, Dismal Strangle. This is a really, really great offer. Where's my trash can?
Yeah, I don't know where the delete button is on this thing.
It was there before. Hold on. If we miss something, just remind us. I gotta go figure out how to turn this stuff off. Yeah, where'd they move it?
Oh.
You got it?
Maybe. Deleted messages.
Whatever. Where's my footage?
No, I don't see it.
That's fine. Everybody just spam the chat with Aussie Moch or something. Get that message out of there. Man, what did we miss? Let's see. Tony's still in guard. You got swept by a child. I think I throw Josh here. Another little Sisai. That's what I was talking about earlier. I have my pulling underhook on the near shoulder, not all the way reached across. Blocking with the foot. Put him on the merry-go-round. There we go. Thank you, boys. I feel like Twitch sends out strange updates like all the time, and I just lose track of where everything is. Is Braden trying to double knee bar one of the kids?
Kale.
and toe hold him at the same time.
Savage.
Well, for what it's worth, Braden, if you're still watching, the toe hold, it was funny. Gordon was just talking a lot about this. I think with his leg lock instructional coming out, a lot of content has been out there from him about toe holds, or about legs in general. But with toe holds, we kind of see you sending the foot to the butt, which that's like, that's normally. I mean, that's how I was taught how to do it. It's a pretty common step in the process, but that doesn't break the leg. Like, that's not, and I don't want you breaking Kale's leg, but that's not how you put breaking pressure on. The best way to go about it is to get your elbow all the way down to the heel, and then you pull with the elbow and you push with the hands. So whether or not the knee bends, you can still get a break. Just keep that in mind next time you're attacking these. Obviously don't break any of the kids' feet, but that's good mechanics. Braden treating Kale the way we treat him. Did you see that?
No.
Watch.
Oh.
Watch it, how he picks him up. It's like, you know what? I'm the old king of the world. And now he's bragging. See if Rush has an answer for Pat from the back. Good single leg from Josh here. Catches me with my hands up a little high. Got a very high over tie. And uses that as an opportunity for a quick level change. Snatches my leg right up and then runs the pipe, takes me down. I mean, thank you, Cody and Jordan earlier for the same comment. This is the exact same playlist I have on every single week.
They apparently don't like it every other week.
I mean, I'm curious if now if they're messing with me, I'm getting even one compliment is out of the ordinary. But I'll just assume you're being nice. What was that?
You're feeling self-conscious.
Yeah. You tell me I look good. I'm like, wait, what's wrong with me? Why are you saying that? You're lying to me. Yeah, the reason for the music always being basically the same is royalties and getting copyright strikes. Yeah, this is royalty-free stuff on Spotify. So if you guys want different stuff, go ahead and buy a tier 2, tier 3 subscription and help me pay for a license for other music, because it ain't free. Oh, thanks, Cole. Now I know you guys are being serious and you really like the music. Cole only ever compliments my music taste. So you've got you're trying to shelf Chris's leg, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I'm resetting. I felt very confident that I could hold that position. I was able to get to score a go behind, an arm drag to a go behind, and pop him down to get to the pass. So here I'm like, I could try and Darce. He's got a cross shoulder post on me, so it leaves it open for a Darce to try and pass the guard here. If I would just take my right hand onto his right wrist, or his right wrist, I've got a pretty easy Darce to set up. I opt to not do that. I want to pass using like a floating style pass. So he goes ahead and puts me down, but I'm pinching my knees together, so it's very tough for him to stand back up. And then I'm trying to feel out like where his pressure is on his legs. So I'm noticing that his knees are always spread outward. And so I want them to be pointing in the same direction. He does a really good job of putting these hooks in and then keeping his knees pushed like perpendicular to my thighs, right? If I can start collapsing his legs here, this is where I'm starting to notice. Now my hands are not in a great position, but my feet are starting to become in much better position here. So now I'm starting to figure out where I can start applying pressure in order to start breaking his guard down.
You thinking about float passing at this point?
I am. Yeah, I'm trying to float pass by, and I'm trying to figure out how I can do it. And so yeah, that you'll start seeing my strategies start playing out and kind of morphing as the time goes on.
Gavin has a really great counter to a very dynamic throw. As soon as his feet hit the ground, he's like, just double legs me.
Nice.
Oh, cool. We got Braden giving it to Kurt, too. I think Kurt had been hiding in the corner this whole time, back behind the pillar.
Yeah, I think he was over there talking with Veronica when she was trying in the back corner.
That's right. So there you start trying to settle into that float passing with the leg pummeling.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, like I fight with it too, man. Like the dude's guard is very solid. And then he's very good at denying me inside position with my arms.
Danny and Andrew had a nice little rolly exchange here. Let's look to the side. Andrew's doing a good job of getting Danny's legs pointed away. This should be, you know, guard passing and pinning off of that. I think Andrew just leaves himself a little too upright, letting Danny get his legs back. Danny inverts, and it's hard to tell if Andrew just chose to go back that way, or if Danny was really applying some pressure to get him off balance. But now he's in a bad spot, somewhere you never want to be with Danny. Good hip switch from Danny there too as he comes up. So watch. Just quick enough to get in front of Andrew's legs.
Yeah, so oddly enough, I do the exact same thing here to Chris. So now I'm finally starting to feel the position out, feel where his legs are becoming vulnerable. I hit a hip switch, almost identical to Danny here, and I'm able to get behind his knees, pointing him in the same direction, and I can pass the guard. I did it probably about 30 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was coming up.
Nope, all good.
Look at it again here. Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Yep. That was nice. I like that little scoop with your left leg. As soon as you get here, scooping behind, gather everything up, pinning his legs. Then what? I guess you. Okay, you come. So you came up just to let him work.
I want practice. Like I wanted practice on this this guard.
Yeah. Good example to all of our other students. Not every roll has to end in submission.
No, when you have goals that you want to achieve, submitting is not going to be the way that you achieve all of your goals.
Yeah. What up, Mango? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Mango?
Coming up on the end of this round. Looks like we got 2 rounds left. So yeah, it's the second time we saw Chris sit you down with that, that dummy sweep, or double ankle. But he doesn't look too quick to stand up on it. I'm curious if, I mean, he's in such a good position to enter into legs.
Yeah.
I wonder what his thoughts are there, if he's just kind of like fine with working his guard.
And he has that inside, he has the inside position. It's unlike what you typically see because, he keeps his knees on the inside. And drops it, drops everything very low rather than putting foot on the hips or,
right.
Or kind of like shooting your butt through the hole type of a thing. And so when I land in that position, I'm pinching my knees, but it really wouldn't take much for him to try and enter into my legs.
Yeah.
He didn't seem game to do either one of them, come up on top or do that. I'm pinching my knees, but it wouldn't have taken much.
Yeah, this is different from the double ankle you see from somebody who has someone in their closed guard and their opponent goes to stand, because Chris's legs aren't wrapped around your waist. It's almost like he's hitting this from if you were in a double, if you were in his butterfly guard, But that's I mean, it's a good sweep. I just think he should immediately be transitioning into a leg attack.
Yeah.
Cutting weight has been successful. Excellent.
That's good.
You cutting for a tournament? You just trying to get into summer shape, get shredded? Oh, is that why, Cole?
James, incorrect. That not everything has to end in a sub or what?
Oh, nice. All right. What do you know what promotions running? Is it like Naga? Is it IBJJF? I took this as an opportunity to torture the entire Buellmeyer contingent at class. So I forgot what I was doing. I was rolling with him, and then I grabbed I could grab Eric's leg here, and then Kale walks by later. And meanwhile, Kurt's like actually trying to roll with me, and I just don't care enough until he starts to try to toe hold me. Chris,
Oh, this is gonna be the fight against Jason. Jesus.
Oh, yours?
Oh my God. Yeah, my shoulder's still. I said it earlier. My shoulder still is feeling this. You'll see the landing, I think, here.
Sport Jiu-Jitsu International Federation. That's a new one to me. I wonder if that's just some West Coast stuff. Well, dude, get some footage. Maybe we'll check it out if you send it to us. May 6th. You got plenty of time though. What weight class you trying to cut to? That'll be good because you don't have to like murder yourself just trying to cut weight.
Yep. Planning this out this far out is smart. And you can train at the new weight.
Yeah. Oh, Jason. Nice.
Not that one. That's not even the bad one. That one didn't feel bad.
I wanna. Oh, it did. Whatever. I just want to look at that exchange again. I think I stopped it right as it was coming. Man.
Yeah, so he uses a reverse collar tie to keep me down and away, to push my head down and away, and then just reaches.
There you go. That's what you're talking about.
This reverse collar tie, I'm like, I see it at the last second. I'm like, shit. So I try and take my leg away, but he just has such a good bite on my leg. Scoops it up. I'm like, okay, I can handle this.
I wish you would have pulled in here. Like he would have pulled the knee in towards his hips and kept his head on the inside. I think he could have gotten this takedown. But there he like uses his whole body to whip, brings his head out.
Right.
And just loses some energy there.
He does a treetop and tries to just dump me here, right? Comes down, comes up from my back, and then immediately tries to just pick me or to drop me that way, which is fine. No big deal.
It's fine.
Comes around my back again. I'm trying not to go down without a fight. So I'm standing back up. And then here we go.
Let's see it. We'll play it full speed in a second.
I'm trying to come around to get into a front headlock. Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't look good on a shoulder.
That I like second guessed it. Right here, I was just like, oh no. Tried to let my arm go limp and didn't work.
Let's watch it in full speed.
This is what's called getting ragdolled. By
I mean, you're back up pretty quick on it.
Yeah.
Or trying to at least. Look at that.
Yeah, and then
just about gets under your neck.
Just about, but then I get on top. And I try to smother him for about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Chris and Danny, how did that go? Oh, look at Chris here. Chris getting Danny in a triangle.
Let's see if he does. I just taught triangles last Thursday in the advanced class. I'm curious to see if which one he's gonna go for.
He's pushing off the hip to cut his angle. Danny's trying real hard to not let him cut.
So Chris is really trying to get up onto the shoulder blades, which is what I was teaching the Danaher finish to the strangle here.
Pulling his toes to his nose as well. A small but very important detail. Dang.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff,
That
Chris.
was cool, man. I'm I don't know if he had that going through his head or not, but I'm gonna take full credit since he's not here to contest
That's how we do it.
me.
Middleweight is
Our problems show up.
Oh, okay. So I guess they give you like a 4-pound allowance for the gi then. Oh, dude, you'll be set. You'll make that
Oh,
weight
yeah.
easily.
Totally.
So I was definitely playing a lot of catch and release with Kurt here in the heels. Oh, and yeah, I was talking him through a cross ashi escape that you can use. Like, I've got his leg pretty tight. He's not going to be able to pull that leg out, whether or not I have the heel. But what I want to see him doing with that free leg, like he's trying to kick his foot through to like slip the heel. I tell him instead, use the free leg, try to get it inside, like on this side of my foot, and pry my triangle open to get yourself free. It's going to be hard the way his hand position is, just because he can't like turn away for me enough. And right now with the heel, obviously he doesn't. That's probably not the best thing to focus on. Long before that happens, I think that's why I slipped the heel here. I'm telling him, focus on it at that point. Try to get the legs, try to get the triangle open, and then you can rotate your hips, rotate your leg more easily, get your knee free. My chin's way too high there, but again, I really don't care. I don't want to crank on Kurt's knee. Oh, Josh was about to rip Caleb's head off.
Nice job getting in the top position, though, Josh, on that one.
Looks like Josh is weary of Caleb's tripod sweep, which he should be. Caleb's really good at those, has long legs for him. How did I sweep Kurt here? Okay, just a head and arm, Sumigaeshi, and turning back into cross ashi.
He's sturdy.
And more to the point you made earlier, Mike, look how much my legs are focusing on keeping Kurt's secondary leg from planting. So my hands are attacking the primary leg, but my legs are really like keeping Kurt's leg off the mat, like right there. I'm making it difficult for him to try to like sit up and get to a more athletic position, planting his left foot, being able to move and all that stuff. Gives me some time to get my heel exposure and set up my attack. All right, last round. This exhausting round between you and me.
Yeah, being tired coming into it and then going a full 6 minutes, pretty much action packed. So go back to that freaking diet. What is that called?
Dashibarai.
Ashibarai. So I go down cleverly. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and come down for like some sort of sweep single or maybe even a high crotch, but you wouldn't let go of my hand here. Your left hand is connected to my left hand.
I'll never let go.
Yeah, so I was like, that this is not going according to plan. So I'm about to stand back up, and as I'm going to stand back up, you switch out to this Dayashi, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. And then it worked, and then I was like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do from here?
I really, when I attacked that, I was really just thinking about like those cheap new breed points rules, you know, where it's like,
Mhm.
let me just like make the weakest takedown attempt, um, and I'll get 2 points, you know.
Yep. So I was really trying to use the upper body distractions here to shoot into legs.
Yeah, that was a good attempt there. I felt like,
So you could see, like, I went for that I tried to strip the collar tie, how we've talked about. You go for your own collar tie there, and then I go for an outside reap on the leg in order to try and scoop up the leg here. I wasn't going for a trip or anything like that. I was literally just trying to get you to step so that you could leave that leg behind. I can snatch it and then hopefully get you down on the mat.
yeah,
But this didn't work because you do really good with the hand post on my head. I can't follow you up. I'm trying to come around to the outside, but you just strip the leg right out and we reset.
yeah, and that, you're gonna see a lot of that from me during this roll. It was a lot of what saved me from those was head pressure.
Oh yeah.
I'm posting on the hip, because I don't want you to get your hips in and close to me and either hit a body lock or a lateral or all sorts of trouble.
Yeah. I had like these delusions of me being able to get in nice and tight and try and fold you down. And then you put your hands on my hips. I was like, nope, I gotta call an audible on it.
Yeah. Here I go for my Sesai again. Again, telltale sign, that near side underhook. What I do really poorly here is get my pushing shoulder, or I'm sorry, my pushing hand on your right shoulder, completely missing. I don't take a wide enough step across. You can see my foot is still between your legs. Almost there, but I would have liked to have it at least in front of your foot.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you can see it from this angle. I'm gonna guess that I don't have your head far enough. Well, I don't know. Your heels are off the mat, so maybe that's fine. I feel like I had you coming forward, but I just didn't get your upper body twisting enough to successfully finish that takedown.
Yeah, I didn't feel your foot really blocking my knee on that one, which is where you could see my legs kind of dance around
Right.
on it. So I think it was just like you said, you just weren't able to get the push enough to keep me, to get me on the angle.
Yeah.
A little bit deeper step, I think I would have been totally screwed.
That and a better shoulder push.
Yeah.
Snap downs, mutual snap downs. That back
Straight.
take I was super happy about.
Yeah. I was pissed off about it, but yeah, I can see why you're happy.
So yeah, it was let's see the exchange here. So big heavy snap. You go to do the same on me.
Yep.
But where this goes wrong is I think as you snap me down, you leave your elbow way too high.
So high. Yes, so high.
Yeah, so we talk about that with ankle picks, and obviously with snap downs. The elbow comes away from the body. Your arm's a lot weaker. It's vulnerable. And now I'm also winning the head height battle. So I swing my arm into an underhook. Kind of slide by here. There's not much. It's really just like a bit of a shoulder shrug, throw you by, and then I'm on the back. Controlling the arm right there. I should have immediately tried to set up my strangle. I waited a little too long. Really back heeling on your leg here to keep you from going this way and turtling back up.
Yep.
That's gonna let me slide in my bottom hook, and then now I could go in for full back control.
Yeah, and another thing that I did wrong, other than just losing that head height battle, is I don't look in the direction that I want to take you. So like,
Yeah.
I have an overtie here. I don't, which means that you have, I have the collar tie here, but I started with the overtie. So I'm trying to strip the overtie, and when you're stripping an overtie, you need to send the person in, in that direction, which means that I have to look in that direction.
Yeah.
What I do here is I just snap you down to the mat, which basically, like you said, when I leave my elbow open like this gives you free reign for an underhook. So now you come around for your own underhook, and you essentially hit, or could have hit, like a head throw, but you didn't have to. You just kind of slide by and come straight into the back take. So you took full advantage of my error.
Hell yeah. Long story short, nothing happens. We're not gonna look at Cole shirtless.
I think I kip out maybe a little bit. Yeah.
You barely had to. You got me off balance. You were able to slip your knees out. Oh, and then my pants are coming down.
The old Brazilian pants falling down.
Yeah, come on now.
Gotta tie my pants.
And I was perfectly fine to not work in a giant sweat puddle. And I think after that, or no, there's one more exchange we have, and after that, I'm pretty beat.
Yeah. Right here, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna take him down. And then again, you just come in, push on my head. I'm not able to really, I don't know whether I just didn't commit to it soon enough, whatever it was, but I wind up coming away from the single leg, and I reach through, or I'll reach around to the other side and try and snatch your other leg. Here it was really slippery. You slipped straight out of it, and then it was a ton of effort for no gain.
Yeah. I was pretty jumpy on that one. I think that's what helped me get out of that. The sweat is definitely on my side here too.
Huge factor. That was another one. I had both like I start with one leg, you turn around, I grab the other leg, I'm trying to chase you down, nothing. So trying to hit a sweep single, and then I'm like, all right, I got another leg. So I'm coming up trying to hit this leg, and then I was too slow to reach through. What I would have wanted to do is use my right hand to come up and snatch your hip on your right hip, and try and pull you down. And you had already made the turn here.
And then, your head was low enough for me to throw on the front headlock, and then it was all just sprawl.
Yep. You cracked me down. Back to the back take. This is where I thought I was screwed. The first back take, I was able to kind of, turn my hips out really well. This is where it really threw me off with the gripping exchange that you were using with me.
Right. Yeah, which sucks. We don't have on camera.
Yeah. But either way, you could see that my left arm was fully trapped here. And how I got out of that strangle, I don't actually know. But I wound up slipping, turning my shoulders, and getting down to the mat. Hang on, what happened there? Was that just a snap down?
Let me go back. Hold on. Yeah, this was where I was super.
You got exhausted. You got tired. That's what it was.
I mean, it was still effective. Like you were hanging on my head much of this round, and from here, yeah, you had beyond the snap down. You were behind my shoulders, and able to just take my entire upper body down to the mat.
So here I was really nervous about the way that you were posting. I thought you were going to stand up.
I was trying.
I feel like that's exactly what you were going to try and do. So I threatened the hook on the near side, right here. You saw it coming, right? But I was able to follow you back up to turtle. So here, there's a huge gap in between your right leg and your right elbow. And so I'm like, all right, I knew you're trying to build up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sink heavy onto that hip and go for the back take here.
Yeah, like you dove into that one.
Yeah, again, we were both exhausted. I didn't know how much time was left on the clock either, and I felt like I was down by points anyway, so I was gonna try and finish. But here, this is where I'm being a dick. I didn't mean to be a dick, but
Said I would have done it to you.
yeah. What I'm trying to do is, you'll see that Matt's doing a really good job of keeping, we talk about the spine alignment, right? The alignment of the spines, and how the person on the back always wants to keep spine alignment. But in order for me to effectively strangle Matt, I have to have my head, or his head, or no, sorry, my head on the opposite side of the strangle arm. And he's doing a really effective job of not only controlling my hands, but keeping his head and my chin in direct alignment here, so that it's very difficult for me to, even though when I have the strangle arm across, I can't effectively strangle. And so what I'm trying to do by having those reach over grips is trying to grab the far side and pull his head onto the opposite side. And so, yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing that. Yep.
Yeah, and I think we start coming up to the end of the round here. Yeah.
Dude, that was such a fun round.
Yeah, that was a good one. We hadn't had a banger like that in a while.
Yep.
Is this live? Yeah, dude.
Totally.
Talking about Danny's upper body distracting us. Yeah, all right, great stuff, man. As always, thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks for the great rolls, for all the good footage. Always great to see you guys working your asses off at class. So keep it coming. Thank you guys. James, hope to see you sooner than later, man.
Yep.
Thank you, Cody.
See you tomorrow.
And yeah, we've got, remember, look at the board at class under the TV where we have all of our upcoming competitions listed. Let us know if you guys want to sign up for one of those. Thank you, Josh, my prince. What else? Let's see. I don't think we've had anything too major. I haven't been scratched to pieces this past week, so I won't yell at you guys too hard for that. You're welcome so very much, Cole. As always, follow us here, and thanks again to Dismal Strangle, you were a bot, but no guitar guy and Unfamiliar Wall for the follows. Really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, you can subscribe as well. Use your Twitch Prime. That helps out the channel. With that, I can pay for different music if you guys want to hear something new. I won't promise you Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 soundtrack or anything like that, but something beyond these same old instrumentals. And if you're not going to pay for that, shut up and quit complaining about it. I'm trying to keep it G-rated. What else? Yeah, follow us over on YouTube as well. We appreciate the support over there too. And yeah, anything else? You got anything, man?
No.
All right, cool.
The class.
Yeah.
Any questions, ask us. You know the drill.
As always. Yeah, go trim your nails and do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And we will see you guys back on the mats. Take it easy.
Later.